everything so damn expensive. 4 years ago, my rent was $1,200 a month at a luxury apartment complex. It is now $2,100, not even including utilities. I went to the grocery store yesterday, right, and got 3 bags of chips, some ground turkey, and some vegetables, and it was $67! What? My car insurance from 4 years ago until now, with no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing on my driver's record, has gone from $130 to $240 per month. 3 years ago, my electric bill was averaging $45. Now it's averaging $125. You go and get a tank of gas once a week, and you're dropping $70. I mean, a guy can't even buy a can of dip for less than $8. $8 for a can of dip? What the is going?
Now that's what you call Bidenomics. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy, wild, and bewildering news to get into today, as of course we have another day of Davos elites meeting up and absolutely wrecking havoc on your life, as of course Javier Milei is there calling them out face to face, as of course we got more interesting news about the U.S. election that has taken some very interesting twists and turns. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media organization. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on TheBestPoliticalShowDotCom, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast highlights a young, frustrated man complaining about the current financial situation that we are all in. I believe that this is Revro Benny. It's embedded in the video that actually made this particular short, and he highlights what happens under a Build Back Better Biden administration that has been prioritizing giving everything to the special interest groups and skinning you alive financially. As of course the U.S. Federal Reserve has instituted many horrible policies and is at the source of all the problems that it creates for your life. And this is why I've been chanting, I've been screaming, I've been telling people, and the Fed is the real issue that could unite the left and the right. But what do I know? I've just been covering this for 20 plus years, and financially we are being ruined, as of course a lot of our money is being relocated towards the businesses and enterprises of some of the richest men in the world. The biggest one, of course, includes Bill Gates, who at Davos is telling the world that we need more of your money. I need you to invest more in me and my own personal businesses, as he's making a plea for the world to spend more on health because it will, quote, make the weather gooder. And therefore, you could stop people from reproducing. Now, those weren't his exact quotes, of course, but his speech at Davos literally talked about, hey, spend more on health, which he's heavily invested in. He has a lot of companies that he will, of course, be profiting off of once they get more money, and connecting with people getting proper health care to somehow the weather changing, and very oddly to the population not growing and expanding from here. This, as of course Bill Gates previously talked about the need for medical procedures that specifically would stop the growth of the population on the world, as Bill Gates, even in his interview, talked about how he really likes the Biden administration and implied that he works with other administrations as well, as of course the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, according to Bill Gates, wanted to make him his science advisor. All of this as on Monday, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation literally announced the plan on spending $8.6 billion on, quote, healthcare technology programs, as they're literally working on projects like insertable birth control that could be controlled through microchips. This, as of course they will be focusing on new efforts in order to give other people other medical procedures, and specifically telling other countries to fork over their money and finance his operations. This, as a large sum of his money, already comes from a lot of government programs and initiatives, as of course Bill Gates previously a couple years ago promised to give up all of his wealth to charity, and then somehow doubled his wealth. As of course, a lot of Davos elites are foaming at the mouth, talking about Disease X, about a future sickness that, let's just be honest here, they probably are already working on in laboratories. As we just found out from the Daily Mail, that countries like China, that previously worked with the CIA on the previous sickness that went all over the world, is creating a mutant strain of it that will, quote, attack the brain and kill 100% of the people infected in it as found through rat and mice studies. All of this as the same people who work on a lot of this crazy insanity are lecturing you about you having too much energy, you living beyond your means, as they literally fly around on private jets to talk about what you need to sacrifice for the overall well-being of the planet. This as we're also learning about some of the Davos elites panicking over Trump's presidency, but some individuals who previously worked with him are probably excited about the possibilities of what could come next. This as according to the latest poll numbers, Trump is solidifying his lead over Nikki Haley in New Hampshire, where of course we will have the second primary happen next Monday in the live free or die state, where Donald Trump is once again expected to win overwhelmingly, as his former opponent Vivek Ramaswamy is now urging Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley to drop out of the race so Donald Trump could focus on Joe Biden. All of this as the corporate media is actually even refusing to play any part of his speeches, as it looks like a lot of hysteria and panic have absolutely taken over them. As whoever the next president of the United States will be, will face a lot of very serious economic pressures, and that's one reason out of many reasons why today on LukeUnfilteredDotCom, I'm doing a very special video report about how not to be poor. Yes, we are doing a financial video talking about a lot of the crazy situations unfolding around the world, and more importantly, some of the habits, some of the things that you could be doing in your life not to be absolutely financially wrecked by the current Build Back Better Bidenomics situation of the upper echelons, uber elites literally trying to take away everything from you. Again, lots to talk about, especially when it comes to DEI, health hacks, financial hacks, tips, tricks. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more on LukeUnfiltered.com with a special broadcast available just for members right after this video. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Click the link right now in the description. Click right here. You could join for as little as $8 a month. You could join for our regular membership for $15. You could also join for a premium membership for just $99 a month. You get a lot of really exclusive access to this independent media organization, as of course, again, $8 costs nothing comparatively to all the other prices out there, but makes a huge, significant difference for this independent media organization. All of this as, of course, you get a lot of really exclusive access, but also the ability to talk to other like-minded members, to meet up in real life, contest, giveaways, you name it, we do it. All on LukeUnfiltered.com, a place centered towards giving you the best, most amazing information to empower yourself and live a life that is worth living. Lots of people in their slave mind, lots of people with fluoride, pineal glands. We don't do any of that. And that's why I can't thank you guys enough for signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com and joining the community, joining this independent media organization, and helping us do some really awesome, incredible things. The more members, the more awesome things we will do for you. As of course, financially, there are a lot of very serious issues in our economy, and that's why information is more important than ever. As even Jamie Dimon at Davos is warning of major impacts to the U.S. economy in 2024 and 2025, as he is talking about a combination of financial and geopolitical risks that will be affecting all of us. As of course, already the peasants are paying a lot to the Federal Reserve banksters, and the situation definitely is going to get more crazier from here. This as even the CEO of Goldman Sachs is warning about soaring U.S. debt levels, and the economy is a major election issue that, of course, a lot of people are voting on. As specifically, there's a lot of countries that the United States is currently bankrolling and are becoming more and more dependent on. And with the very horrible policies by the Biden administration that have wreaked havoc on the poor and middle class of this country, especially with its open immigration policies, especially with its corporate bailouts, especially with its financing of the military-industrial complex, borrowing, spending more money that, of course, we do not have, this is probably the number one overwhelming issue that is leading this upcoming presidential election and why Donald Trump is seen as someone who overwhelmingly will beat out Joe Biden in this year's election. As, of course, some of the people that have suffered the most financially are, of course, the people of Argentina that had to deal with massive hyperinflation and just decided to put in a libertarian anarchist running around with a chainsaw that promised that he would cut government bureaucracy out of their lives. And very interestingly, also appeared at Davos at the World Economic Forum, addressing a lot of central controllers and socialists that he usually speaks out about, delivering a very potent message saying this specifically.
Do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is not the solution. The state is the problem itself. You are the true protagonists of this story. And rest assured that as from today, Argentina is your staunch, unconditional ally. Thank you very much, and long live freedom. Damn it.
What do they got? RTD2 doing the translations here? I want to hear more energy with that. Damn it. As, of course, the speech here by Javier Milei was a kind of interesting one, as, of course, he's speaking to a room full of socialists, describing how socialists are the problem in this world. He did talk about the problems of the use of coercion. He talked about the state holding a monopoly of violence, how most market failures are failures of the state because of their interventions in the market. And he talked about how the West is declining because of collectivism. This, as, of course, this is not the first time that Javier Milei was at the World Economic Forum. And his full speech is something that I personally tweeted out on my own Twitter account, and you could go watch for yourself. As the speech was interesting here, to say the least. If you watched it, what did you think of it? Rating it from 1 to 10, what number would you give it? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What do you make of the comments and speeches being made here? As it's important to hear that everything we're hearing from Davos is being said publicly. What's being said privately behind the scenes that we're not privy to? Well, that's probably a lot more crazier than a lot of people could even imagine. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. We got a podcast episode coming out later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern, here on this particular broadcast with a very special guest. Tune into that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media organization. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you watching, subscribing to LukeUnfilteredDotCom, where you get a special report right after this one, which I will see you there right now with. And that is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.